I want to start with something that I threw out to Joel Klatt this week. I think Brian Kelly is in the class of Saban and Dabo Swinney. I think there's academic standards at Notre Dame. It's a private school. It's a cold weather climate. I think Brian Kelly's absolutely fantastic. And as you know, Brady, he's a guy that has moved up the ladder everywhere he's gone. He's never rushed it. He goes to a place, he creates a culture, he wins. And there's going to be 6 or 7 NFL jobs, and I don't know if he can do more than he's done to rebuild Notre Dame. Am I just out of my mind to say this, that he has done the best job you can do at Notre Dame, and that maybe he explores the next level of coaching? Because I think he can handle it. What say you?
Well, I definitely think he's explored it in the past. I mean, I think it's hard to not, as a head coach, want to look potentially at moving up to that level and seeing if you can have some success there. Obviously, he's had a ton of success at the college football level. I think if you ask him, he'd like to win a national championship before he moves on to do that. But I think with his coaching style and really how he's transitioned the last few years, bringing in Mike Elko and obviously Chip Long as offensive coordinator. When Mike Elko left, Clark Lee was elevated. Really his management style of his staff and of the team is what's impressed me most. And I think now affords him the chance that if he was to go up to the NFL level, I think he runs Notre Dame like an NFL team now. So I think a lot of those kids in their transition don't have an issue. And I don't think he would have an issue, too, dealing with some of the differences that I think a lot of coaches deal with when they go from the college level to the NFL level.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good point. So I think they'll beat USC. I think their program's going in the opposite direction. Working in Los Angeles, and you played in Miami, you played in big cities, you played in New York. The USC job, Brady, is a little different. It reminds me of the Miami Hurricanes. It's college mostly, but it's got a little NFL feel to it. Do you need a big name if USC hires a new coach? Or do you go with somebody that's a little bit of a lower name? What kind of coach would work, in your opinion, at USC?
I think one that would embody what comes with being a head coach at USC, right? So you have to embrace the LA atmosphere and the environment there, like Pete Carroll did. And that's one of the reasons why they were so successful. So whoever that next head coach is, he's going to have to look at that as an advantage, not only for recruiting, but also to keep things fun and keep things enthusiastic throughout the course of the program there. But again, we're making the case that Clay Helton's going to be gone. Look, if they were to upset Notre Dame this week, and let's just say they happen to go on and win the Pac-12 and maybe even luck out and win a Rose Bowl, I mean, it'd be hard to fire a coach who'd be in that position. We want to kind of write Clay Helton off, but he also has done a solid job, I think, given what he's been dealt. No one foresaw their season working out the way it has this year, where they've been playing with their third-string quarterback in an air raid system where you're going to put the ball in his hands to throw the football all over the field. So, look, this is going to be a rivalry game. That's going to be a tough one. I think tougher than a lot of people think. You may say Notre Dame's going to roll them. I think they'll win. I don't think it's going to be as easy as a lot of the prognosticators think.
Now, shifting to Texas, Oklahoma, I think Texas, a very physical team, will push back. This has been a crazy rivalry where the underdog often plays way over their skis. I think Texas gives Oklahoma – Oklahoma has not played much of a schedule yet. Is that a disadvantage for Oklahoma? It's been pretty easy sailing so far.
Yeah, I think it's a disadvantage in the sense that, Jalen Hurts in his first year in a new system, and granted, Kyler Murray was in the system for a number of years, so he understood exactly how it was to be executed watching Baker Mayfield, and once he came in last year to replace him. With Jalen Hurts, he hasn't had as much time, so now they're going to be tested. And look, statistically speaking, Texas has been terrible in their secondary, but they've been banged up, and they will get healthier this week for this matchup. The difference is going to be their defensive coordinator, Todd Orlando. He's going to challenge this offense for Oklahoma with the different blitz schemes that he brings and what he does throughout the course of the game to try to not allow Jalen Hurts outside the pocket, making those big plays with his legs, and also try to get pressure on him to stymie somewhat of this passing attack too. So that's going to be the challenge. I think it's going to be the schematic one that Todd Orlando brings to really challenge Jalen Hurts, unlike anything he's seen yet this season at Oklahoma. Granted, he's seen a lot playing in the SEC, but this is going to be a new challenge for him.
Brady, I'm going to ask you, because you also played a lot of years in the NFL, I'm going to ask you to put your personnel hat on. We've got some terrific quarterbacks. Justin Herbert at Oregon, Fromm at Georgia, Tua, Trevor Lawrence at Clemson. We got the kid at Utah State, Burrow, who was a backup at Ohio State, goes to LSU. Joe Burrow's been fantastic. And then, Jalen Hurts. When you look at all these guys out there, is there... Tua's funny. I see a little Russell Wilson. I'm a little worried about the injury. I got to tell you, the Justin Herbert kid is big, can move, and can sling it. There's Jacob Eason at Washington, who's got a huge arm, but not quite as mobile. If there were one or two that I said, you're a GM, you'd really be interested, who kind of pops for you?
Well, Jordan Love, the quarterback at Utah State you talked about, he had a bad showing versus LSU, but by and large, he's going to be a guy that I think flies under the radar. And we're going to start talking about at the beginning of 2020 as we get ready to head into the combine. And people are going to start looking at this young man comparable to almost Marcus Mariota as far as his skill set. I think he's a little bit more of a polished passer, though, at this point at Utah State. He's a guy to keep your eye on. And I think you've got to love what Joe Burrow's done in particular because Joe Brady comes from the New Orleans Saints. He's now their passing game coordinator at LSU. And so a lot of what you see LSU doing is exactly what Joe Burrow is going to be asked to do once he gets to the NFL level. So I think his accuracy, his athleticism that also displays itself too and is needed at the NFL game at this point, all those things are going to be on display. So he's another guy to keep your eye on because I think there's a lot of people who are going to love the fact that he's a coach's kid, very competitive, and he's been able to continue to improve with the more reps that he's gotten and then running basically an NFL system at the college football level. So those two outside of Justin Herbert and Tua Tagovailoa we're obviously going to be in the conversation too.
Yeah, I've been watching LSU football for a lot of years. It's always been a power running school, and now they added the offensive passing element. That watch out for LSU. They may be as good as anybody in the country. And finally, you have a radio show, Fox Sports Radio, with Jonas Knox. You talked to Dak Prescott this week, and I'm interested. I did not hear it, have not heard it yet. Couple of bumpy weeks. There's the contract talk. Quarterback for Dallas is like quarterback for Notre Dame. It comes with a very unique pressure. What did Dak have to say?
I basically asked him, I said, have you been thinking about it on a weekly basis, with the contract negotiations with Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and your agent? He said, look, I let my agent handle all of that. I think we've got an idea of where we'd like to get to, but until that point in time comes, I'm just focused on football. So he's putting the blinders on and moving forward. And I think, look, as a player, a former player, it's a wise approach, but it's easier said than done because, we all know after the season, he's going to have the ability to be franchise tagged, which actually works in his strength or works to his strength because now that's the floor of his negotiation. Whereas if he accepts something now, it may be a little bit less than what he can get in the future. But is he willing to wait? Is he willing to continue to play out the season depending on how he looks and to see what's there on the other side? So it's not an easy situation for him to be in, but I think he's handled it about as well as you can given the circumstances.
All right. By the way, the Sam Ehlinger kid, the quarterback for Texas, you're going to see this weekend. He's got a little bit of there's a little Tebow. I think he's a better thrower than Tebow, but he's got a little Tebow with him. He's not, your classic 6'4" guy. He's really a gamer. I really like watching him play. Does he remind you of anybody? Is he an NFL quarterback?
Well, yeah, he reminds me of Tebow from watching him. And in covering the past couple of years, I think the difference is his growth and progression as a passer, in particular downfield and throwing to the outside. Those are two areas where you've really seen him improve as far as his accuracy and overall just understanding what defenses are trying to do and where their weaknesses are. As far as if he's a quarterback at the next level, the biggest challenge for him is to be sometimes he relies on his running ability, especially towards the end of games or in clutch moments, to make a play. You and I both know you got to play from the pocket at the NFL level, so he's going to have to be more disciplined in staying in there and trying to make an accurate pass or looking to anticipate. Something that he does a better job of this year, but still not up to the standard of the NFL level.
Yeah, I love watching him play, though. He is a complete gamer.
Great competitor.
Yeah, great gamer. Well, Brady, you just do great work. Fox Sports college football analyst. Thank you so much for stopping by on a Friday, bud.
Thanks for having me, guys. Hey, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the games.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.